Welcome to Eggcellent Adventures, where I, your host Reec Swiney, take a step away from my duties as a radio and TV personality and give you a first-hand look at my other love, BlackYard Chickenz and homesteading. Take a listen to conversations I have with others who are in farming, homesteading, and connected brands. And some of those conversations go a little like this.
She does say I have too much, though. She says I have too many, but I don't think I have enough.
The chicken math started mathing.
Yep, it's never ending.
I only started with like 4 laying hens. Now I have over 100 chickens and geese and quail.
So the first question we ask everybody that comes on to the Eggcellent Adventures, what was your old cluck moment?
The first thing that comes to mind is when the first time I got locked inside one of my own chicken coops.
We talk about the highs, the lows, and everything in between. Now let's see who's on this episode of Eggcellent Adventures. Welcome everybody back to another Eggcellent Adventures with me, your host Reec. Of course, it's powered by BlackYard Chickenz live from Media Campus West. We got another special guest with us today, and usually we talk to chicken people, but this is a Concrete Cowgirl. Matter of fact, this is the Concrete Cowgirl. We have Erin Brown here. Met her on social media, on Instagram. I ran across her page. I thought it was amazing, absolutely amazing. I saw some of the things she was doing. Then I got to dive a little deeper, saw some of this nonprofit stuff that she's after, and she's helping these kids and introducing them into the world of equine. So without further ado, let's get this hype bell ready. Let's give a warm welcome to Miss Erin Brown, the Concrete Cowgirl, all the way coming from Philly. What's going on, Miss Lady?
Hey, how are you? Thank you for having me.
It's our pleasure. We usually start off by saying, what's your old cluck moment? Like, what's that moment that you knew you were in the chicken game, but since you're in the horse game, what was that old horse moment? What was that moment that you knew you just kind of fell in love with it?
Well, I did have a pet chicken growing up. I will say that.
Okay, well, that's the gateway drug animal. That's what they say.
Right. My father had a welding shop in North Philadelphia, or north side section of Philadelphia. Mm-hmm. And he would do repairs for the Black Cowboys. And he took me by the barn one day. I was 6 years old, and that one day trip turned into who I am today. So you just picture horses and chickens and ducks and cows in the middle of an urban neighborhood. And that's where it all began for me.
That's amazing. And this is in Philadelphia. Like, I grew up for a good part of my life in Jersey, and I think I saw maybe 2 or 3 cows one time on a road trip. I knew what they looked like because I had a TV, but we never really got to experience those animals firsthand unless you went to the zoo or something like that. So for you to be in Philly, if I'm not mistaken, North Philly, right?
Yep.
Okay, North Philly, you don't hear about these types of things, and it's not heavily publicized, especially within our community. So for your father to introduce you to that and then you fall in love with it, that's amazing within itself.
Yes. Actually, if you saw Concrete Cowboy on Netflix, that was the exact same place where it all started for me.
Man, that is, and that was a great movie too. You watching that movie? Let's get sidebarred a little bit. When you watched that movie, did it hit the mark? Was it one of those? Did it like really touch the soul of the culture? What you've been experiencing for most of your life?
To be honest, I didn't watch the movie until maybe 2 years after it came out. Mm-hmm. I was there every day during filming, and I was a stunt rider and an extra, and I worked closely with the filmmakers, making sure this was a legit, authentic story.
Gotcha. I forgot I was dealing with a superstar. I forgot. Pardon me. You said 6 years old. You go to this place. It's amazing to you. You like, okay, I like this. You like the feeling that you got from it. But what point did you know, this was it, as far as you knew what you were doing when you got on that horse, and you said, okay, I got this. I'm the Concrete Cowgirl.
I wasn't really confident growing up. I wasn't a real confident child, and I was shy. I didn't talk a lot, so horses were my voice, and I was pretty good and a natural. So they started me competing on a professional circuit by the time I was like 8 years old.
Sheesh.
And from that point, that was my life. After school, we go to the barn, we train, we get ready for the next show season. All through elementary school to high school, I actually went to an agricultural high school here in Philadelphia and majored in equine science. So, yeah.
You all the way official. What were some of the things that you were learning that time? Like I'm a first time, I want to call a horse. I'm a first time pony owner. I got like horse puppies. So I'm learning as I go. Obviously YouTube University, watching your page, watching different pages through like Purina and stuff like that. But tell me what are some of the things that you learned, or some of maybe misnomers that you may have had going in that you like, oh, okay, this is different than what I thought.
I will say with horses and horsemanship, it always evolves. So there's always something to learn. And I want to say doing this for 32 years, I always still find something new to learn or a different way to do something that I may have done differently years ago.
That makes plenty of sense. That's definitely the life, like farm life in general, or just even backyard chicken life. Like I learn something new pretty much every time I go out there.
They are
like,
cute, by the way.
Yeah. Thank you. But no, that is amazing. Did you have a per se favorite horse growing up, or?
I got my first horse. I got my first horse when I was 10, and he was just born. So he was born at the stable. Of course, I couldn't ride him until he was about 3. Mm-hmm. So I had him from birth until 18 years old when he passed.
Oh, wow.
Yep. His name was Philly Dollar.
Philly Dollar. I like that name. I love that name. That's pretty cool. When you got that horse and you got on them and start bonding, like I've learned that with all the animals, they pretty much have their own different personalities. It seems like that it could be the case with horses as well.
Oh yeah, they all have their own different personalities. I have 12 right now, and they all have their own personality.
One thing I've learned too is notice that almost everybody in this space, those animals seem to be some type of mental health advocate, and they kind of help us get through our day-to-day things. You said it helped you with your confidence as a child. What is it like going out for you mentally when you get into those stables?
My day-to-day kind of feels like I'm a robot because it's repetitive. I do the same thing every day for the most part. And I know if I'm feeling some type of way, I'm not having a good day, depending on the horse, when I get to their stall to clean it and stuff, they know how to brighten me up, and they're playful, and you can't allow whatever you're feeling at home transfer to them. So
that makes sense. That definitely makes sense. So they kind of like empaths. They're going to take on what you take on.
Right. So, and some of them are like, okay, you having a bad day? We're going to have a bad day together then. Some of them
it sounds like you talk about a horse in particular.
There's a few.
I got you. Day-to-day care with them. Before we get into because you have some amazing things going on, like the concrete jumping and the nonprofit and Pura. I want to talk about those things too, but I kind of also want to talk about day-to-day, because some of the people that are listening and watching, they may want to get into raising horses, or they may do like me. They may start out with 2 chickens, and now they have goats, chickens, and everything else, and they want a couple ponies or something. So like day-to-day, what does that kind of look like for you?
So I get to the barn typically between 5:30 and 7, depending if it's, right now I'm conditioning horses for a horse show, so I have to get there a little earlier. Mm-hmm. But I turn the lights on, give them their grain, and then I do their water buckets, which is basically you're dumping out yesterday's water, scrubbing the buckets, refilling with fresh water. Then I clean their stalls and they get hay as I clean their stalls, and then they eat grain again for dinner.
Okay, cool. I'm learning that horses are very, very pushy eaters.
They shouldn't be, but they can be, but they shouldn't be. So there's ways to, correct that.
Okay, I'm gonna need some help correcting that because I got these two little ponies, and when I break out that bucket, they know it's time to eat. They right up on my butt.
Yeah, ponies are something different, and they always say the closer they are to the ground, the closer they are to the devil. So
I like that. I think I'm gonna make some T-shirts saying that because it might be right. They got some attitudes on them. I'm trying to because obviously they kind of like people and they've been through some things. So it's like this first month with them, it's just been me trying to build that trust and let them know that I'm not here to hurt you. I'm just out here to feed you, brush you, get you things, clean up after you, and let you know I'm not here to harm you. I try to put the harness on them a couple times. It worked out 2 days now. I can't even catch them to do it.
Well, there's ways to do that too. We'll have to talk.
Okay. I'm using treats. I'm trying to corral them like I do my toddler. It's not working.
We've reached that part of the show where we hook you up with some insider information. And this time it's some egg side information. Y'all know what I mean. Because people ask me all the time, how do you get your chickens so fluffy and healthy and happy? And their eggs are so bright, beautiful, and they taste delicious too. I would love to dedicate all those things to me coming in and having a great time in that chicken coop every day and shaking it up with those ladies. But the fact is, it comes from a healthy and balanced diet of Purina's Layina. That's the brand we use. Whether you've got laying hens and you want to go with the Purina Layina plus omega-3, or you got a bunch of baby chicks running around in your brooder and you go with that Purina Start and Grow Crumble, you can't lose. I know we haven't. So visit their website today, and in 3 easy steps, you can get discount coupons for the Purina product that's right for some great nutrition for your animals. I did it myself and it only took me about 2 minutes. It's absolutely worth it. And to make things easier, we have the hyperlink on our website, BlackYardChickens.com. Just look under product of the month and you'll see the link right there to go and try your Purina Feed Greatness. And through their trial program, they can pair you with the right nutrition and let you try it with your animals and see the results. Now, I can tell you all day how Purina Feed Greatness has been absolutely phenomenal for my chickens, goats, ducks, and rabbits. But you can see for yourself. Go to BlackYardChickens.com. Now, let's get back to this week's adventure.
Man, that's pretty cool. So tell me about when you started jumping and getting into that world, because to me, that's scary. Like I know us folks from up East Coast, Philly, y'all riding 4-wheelers and stuff like that in the street. Y'all popping wheelies and you doing it on horses. So tell me about that a little bit.
I started jumping about 7, 8 years old. And I did it all the way to my mid-20s, I want to say, right before dollar passed. It was fun. I loved it. I loved the different courses. It was challenging. I loved everything about it. Even the clothes with the white tights, they're called breeches or beige, and the knee boots. I loved everything about it.
Now you super fly now. We've been to your social media pages. I said, okay, I got to speak to her. Cause I mean, like I said, I think in our text exchange, I have daughters, and letting them see something like what you're doing is inspiring. It's amazing. They don't always see people in our space. It's like seeing a VP, seeing our vice president right now. You get to see a woman of color in a powerful position. You get to see you doing something so amazing with these big, beautiful animals. And it's like you running a show out there. How does that feel when little girls, I know a lot of little girls walk up to you like, that's what you doing?
Little girls, some of them come in with this, die-hard energy, and they're tougher than the boys. There's some that are a little finicky and little girly girls, but girls pay more attention to the horses and their personalities and the different ins and outs, and girls are more affectionate to the horses. They, women typically take a little extra time with the boys. I've seen some tough, hood boys come in the barn and They big and bad in the streets, but they get in front of a horse and they're like the most timid thing. But, watching their interaction, it helps them develop and mature. So, and it helps them grow. And, they're not going to take advantage of this 1,200-pound animal and push it around. So you have to, get to the point where you're partners.
Mm. I love that. It kind of helps you gain a mutual respect for life that way, too.
Right.
Yeah, we have our Eggcellent Adventures program where we take the animals out to the schools, and we see that some of the kids that have like behavior disorders and stuff like that, they get around these animals and they change into a whole different human. Mm-hmm. So I love what you guys are doing. Tell me about the nonprofit organizations that you're a part of too, because I think that's amazing. We want to key in on that a little bit.
Okay. Philadelphia Urban Riding Academy, or PURA. I'm the executive director for that. And that was established in partnership with the filmmakers from Concrete Cowboy. All of the stables in Philadelphia are pretty much going to redevelopment and gentrification. So we wanted to have something that's ours to preserve the history and culture of the Black cowboy in Philadelphia. So everything doesn't become, whitewashed. And it gives kids, horse activities, anything equestrian related is expensive. And it gives them this opportunity, this outlet to, learn how to ride, learn horsemanship, and for free.
I love that. I mean, to be around, they say as soon as you buy a horse, it's like, that's when the money starts to flowing out. To give these children the opportunity to do it for free is so commendable, man. We just want to give you flowers on that and leading the charge for that. I know there are other pieces involved, but you've been on the forefront of it, and I know how important that is too. So we appreciate what you're doing. Thank
you. Yeah, it was done for me. So, and I know horses are healing, and this city alone, yet alone the world, needs a whole lot of healing. So if there are more horses, more agriculture, more hands-on, it changes you or helps mold you.
That's real. I have a friend, I'm gonna call a brother in the entertainment industry, Tone Trump, from up that way. He's doing some amazing things, just trying to keep people out of trouble and just change the narrative up there. So what I know, even though you guys may not be connected, just different people doing different things in those pockets and different spaces is gonna make a huge difference. So salute to everybody up there that's doing something positive,
Absolutely.
Yep. Now we see, like I said earlier, I mentioned that you fly on that social media now. How has social media been for you? I know with me, it's been extremely helpful, not with just getting the word out about what I'm trying to do, but also just creating a little community of people. How was your experience on social media?
I'm not really, I think before Concrete Cowboy came out, I had my social media. It wasn't until I met during COVID, there was the George Floyd situation happened. Yes. And there was a group of Black equestrian women across the world, and we did this kind of Don't Rush challenge. So from that point, we stayed in connections, and we used to do vision boards and launch each other's business and promote. And, we had big dreams, and we all wanted to quit our jobs. We all did. And now we're like, the face of the horse world for Black women. So that's how, but it was a whole bunch of, helping each other build each other's content and, promoting each other. And, we're all Black women from different parts of the world, and we came together to get this thing done. Now we're everywhere.
No, you guys really are. I see the posts. I see all these different pages too, like Black Girls Ride and stuff like that. And it's just amazing to see a community of just people and us just getting along, getting together for a common ground, and then just building up the next generation of riders too.
Right.
All right, let's talk about horse ownership. For those that are thinking about horses, give me some things we absolutely need to know if it's your first time about to go get a horse.
If it is your first time, I suggest volunteering at a horse stable. I think almost any stable will let you volunteer. Get your feel get your feel around. But if you've already been somewhat experienced with horses and you want to buy your first horse, you cannot. I would say find a great barn family that fits you, that welcomes you. And, you can't cut corners with, hey, they're grazing animals. You can't cut corners with farrier bills and vet bills. It is expensive, but it is also attainable. But I would really suggest finding like a barn family. So if you're a new beginner, someone can help you along the way.
Great advice right there. I found that out too. These vet bills are different, and I have the little low to the ground, low to the devil horses. So, my it's probably not as heavy, but it's two of them, so they add up. Yep. Tell me about.
I will switch vet bills with you.
Oh yeah, I bet you got 12 of them, and in regular size.
Right.
Right. Tell me about their farrier services, because I'm right now shopping for a farrier. What should I be looking for around how, what's the frequency of using a farrier? Because mine are basically, they don't really go out like on the concrete or anything like that. They're in the pasture pretty much all day, every day. But tell me about like farrier. What should we look out for? Our horseshoes? Do we need them? Stuff like that.
Your little guys, I'm going to tell you, no, they don't need horseshoes. I have one that size 2, and I got her when she was 3. She's 7 now. She's never had shoes. And she gives rides to kids. The kids ride her and stuff. She's fine. They typically don't need them that small. But my farrier comes out between every 4 to 6 weeks. Depending on the seasons. Horses' feet grow faster in the spring and summer. They don't grow as fast in the winter. And they're working a lot more in the spring and summer as well. So my farrier has been my farrier for 20 years now. Black guy, amazing man. And he, when you're looking for a farrier, I'm not sure. There's different groups. My friend created the Black Equestrian Network. So you put in, it's .com or something, that's the website. You put in your zip code and it'll show you black farriers and all that stuff in your area. But your little guys, they probably need to get a trim every 8 weeks.
Okay.
10.
That's cool. So I'll just give them that full pedicure service every 8 weeks, and we should be okay.
Yeah, there you go.
All right, I love that.
You want to make sure their area is dry. So thrush is something that horses and ponies get. It's basically equivalent to athlete's foot. So if you pick their foot up, they have like a little triangle. It's called the frog. So moisture traps in between that V, which is their frog, and they'll have thrush. It smells horrible. So the drier the land and stuff that they're on, the better.
Okay, cool. Great to know. I know we got a big like dirt patch in the middle, so now I'm feeling a little better about that. We've reached that part of the show where we hook you up with some insider information. And this week it's all about Eaton Pet and Pasture. And I got a 20% discount code for you. As farmers, we know the love and care it takes to raise happy and healthy animals. So choose the best when it comes to bedding, premium cut Timothy hay, and treats for your furry and feathery friends. So if you're looking for super absorbent hemp bedding or nesting pads for your laying ladies, look no further than Eaton Pet and Pasture. Check them out right now at EatonPetAndPasture.com, and first-time shoppers get a 20% discount by typing in Reec at checkout. That's REEC at checkout. Now let's get back to another excellent adventure. Cool. All right, tell me about hay. What kind of hay are we supposed to be feeding these babies?
You got to watch those little guys because they are prone to founder laminitis and I think it's just founder and laminitis and Cushing's because they're so little. So they have to be, the less sugar possible is best. So I would say something like Timothy hay And as far as grain, they probably don't need grain. If they do, like, so ours gets a handful of grain, literally a handful.
Yeah.
And it's like, we give her like this carb care. So it has no sugar. It's low sugar, low starch. So she gets a handful twice a day, but she also eats Timothy hay.
Got you.
That's the best thing for those little guys. You have to watch the grass in the spring and in the fall because they won't stop eating. And the sugars in the spring and fall grass is rich. Well, the grass in the spring and fall is rich in sugar, or high in sugar. So those little guys, they're prone to laminitis and founder, which you don't want.
I got you. Yeah. So me and my ponies had the same problem. We both like sugar, so we got to relax. I understand. I get it. Yeah, I've been doing the same. They just get a very little bit of grain, and this is miniature horse mix that Purina makes. So we just throw that in there. But somebody told me, because I didn't know everything about their history, because they were rescues. We've been mixing it with some water, so it's a little mushy for them. And I don't see them drink a lot. That was concerning to me.
Well, how much are they drinking? Like, what kind of buckets do they have?
Right. So they have 2 troughs out there. Like, they have two troughs out there, and in the daytime, with the grain, it's probably about a half a bucket of water mixed into it. So I don't know exactly how much it is, but I know it's. I think that bucket is a gallon bucket, so it's probably about a half a gallon in there. They go through that pretty fast.
Oh wait, so you're putting like a handful of grain in like a little gallon bucket, and then filling it halfway with water?
Yeah, first we put water in it just to make it a little mushy, and they eat that. Then I put the water back into the bucket.
Okay. But it's like a handful of grain, right?
Yeah, it's a handful of grain. Feel free to school me and teach me and correct me.
How old are they?
We don't know. So they first, I got, let me tell you this whole story. So I got a boy and a girl horse, right? Pony, boy and a girl pony. And they came, the boy was supposed to be 13. The girl was supposed to be 12, 11 or 12. They weren't exactly sure. Within 2 weeks, we had the vet come out. And she came out and she did a full workup, did the vaccinations, the Cowgirls, everything, right? And that's when I found out that I had 2 girl ponies. Because I was like, can you check under the hood? Because I think this boy is fixed, if I'm not mistaken. And she was like, well, here's some good news. He's not fixed because he's a she, you know? So, so I was like, I wasn't getting all the way up under there. But so I have 2 female, I have 2 mares, right? I have 2 of those. And I mean, they're great, but it's like I said, it's a new experience. So we think they're around like 12 or 13 years old. Did
the vet suggest the water thing?
No, but I did tell her that's what we were doing. Tell me if I should do something different. And she said that one was having a little bit more of a time trying to chew these treats. So the water would probably be a good idea to try to get the grain a little more easy to chew. And then she said they were going to come back out in 2 more weeks and probably float her teeth and do some cleaning. And I was going to ask you about that too. What do you think about floating? Because like I said, I'm new to this, and some people watching or listening are new as well.
So treats, here's my thing with treats. They're not dogs. So my horses don't ever get treats. I don't even think they know what they are. They don't get them from me. Because it teaches them how to bite, and it makes them mouthy. If you do want to give them treats occasionally, just throw them in a bucket that they eat out of, so they don't associate you and your hands, and you're the treat person.
Okay.
And that also makes them pushy too when you're hand feeding them. Floating, they should get done once a year. So my horses get floated once a year from the dentist. their teeth, they'll have sharp edges, and sometimes they won't eat because their teeth are sharp. So that is something that's done yearly. I do it every spring.
Okay. That's great to know. See, look at you teaching. You just schooling me. I feel like I owe you some money now.
No, you're good.
I got you though. This has been very, very, very great information, and I appreciate you trying to just schooling us like this, for real.
Oh, no worries.
Absolutely. What do you think is the best, I guess, or the most logical bedding for the stables or barn?
I like pine shavings, the thinner ones.
Okay.
And I also use pellets too.
Okay.
So you have mares. So mares typically, if they're in a stall, they'll typically pee in the back of the stall. Whereas though I have 4 stallions and 4 geldings, so they pee in the center. So I'll put the pellets in the center of the stall and they pee on it and make it work. But mares, like Buttercup, she's a mini. I'll, put her bedding down, put the pellets down and wet it and let it expand. So, but I like pine shavings. It smells good. It's easy to clean.
Yeah, I love pine shavings too. I kind of use those almost everywhere with the goats. When they're not trying to eat it, goats are the bane of my existence. I'm not gonna lie to you; they get on every nerve I have, but I love them.
There's some creatures, I tell you.
They break into everything. Yep. So no, okay. And I'll try the pellets. I had a terrible bad experience with pellets and with my dogs. It just turned into a hot, muddy mess. But I think it may be because we had like some a lot of moisture getting into where they were at the time. So I might have to retread that tire with the.
I swear by pellets.
Yeah. Okay. We're gonna get us some pellets.
Yeah, Tractor Supply.
All right. Oh, I do want to ask you this: what's the best fencing? Is it that ranch style fencing or?
For what are you fencing? The horses?
Yeah. Because I noticed that they have the itchy butts sometimes, and they like to drag up along those fences or posts sometimes.
So the itchy butt, they probably need to be dewormed. When the vet comes back out, ask them about deworming, because that's usually a sign of having worms or scratching their butts. Or they could just need a good bath and a scrub, like really scratch their tailbone and that kind of thing. But fencing, post and rail, I like it. If you're want to keep it secure and not break down for them scratching, I would use post and rail.
Okay. Okay, cool. I appreciate that, man. Thank you so much for joining us. Tell people how they can donate to you or find the nonprofits that you're a part of in Pura. How can they donate to keep those things going?
Pura, our website is thepura.org, thepura.org, and we are Philadelphia Urban Riding Academy on Facebook and Instagram. And me personally, I am TikTok and Instagram. You can find me by The Concrete Cowgirl.
Yes, you can. And you can see her riding off into the sunset. I love every post. I promise you that. Thanks so much for what you're doing in this space and just being an inspiration and being dedicated to something positive. We appreciate you.
Thank you for having me.
Absolutely. And congratulations on that magazine write-up. We see you, girl.
Thank you so much.
All right, last question before we get up out of here. If you could, or if you wanted to see somebody that you know on this podcast, who would it be? Who has a story that we need to be talking to?
I'm going to say Abriana Johnson.
Okay.
And she makes children's books for our people that look like us, called Cowgirl Cameron. She has a series.
Okay.
And she's in North Carolina. She's someone amazing.
I like that. We're going to have to get her on the show. We appreciate that. And the very last question is,
Does chicken math happen with horses? Because it happened to me several times.
Chicken what?
Chicken math. Chicken math happens when you buy 1 or 2 chickens and then somehow you end up with 30 and goats and ponies and other things. Does that happen with horses?
In 2018, I had 2 horses. In 23, I have 12.
Yes, so horse math is a thing. Great to know. I appreciate you once again. Let me hit this hype bell. Thank you for being such a guest. We appreciate you. I can't say it enough. We will be following you online, and you guys make sure that you donate to the cause.
Thank you so much.
All right. Great speaking to you. And there's another episode of Excellent Adventures.
Thanks for tuning in to another episode of Excellent Adventures, powered by BlackYard Chickenz.
Now, if you think you want to raise your own backyard flock, here's the site for you, BlackYardChickens.com. We make entertaining videos about raising baby chicks from scratch. You know what I mean by from scratch, right? Or maybe you want to learn how to take care of your own big chickens or hens and get those fresh eggs, building a coop or buying a coop, having the necessary things inside that coop to get great egg production. You'll learn a lot of the neat tricks I've picked up along the way from other chicken enthusiasts, and you can get pretty eggs just like those. So follow us on social media and check us out on our YouTube channel.